Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I'm joined by...
Matt the Clown.
And the Starklord.
Hello, guys. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm okay.
Yes. I'm assuming you guys all heard the crazy news about the new pre-orders coming out for Games Workshop right now.
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, I neither heard nor really care.
I care a little bit. I am kind of broke right now, so it makes me a little sad, or I would have probably bought one of those codices.
You're very temporarily broke. You're very You'll be getting paid soon, right?
I actually got paid today, but I had to go physically bring it to the bank.
But still,
That's still more money than me.
everything's coming up Millhouse, you know?
Yeah, shush, don't tell people my real name. I'm just kidding. I'm so glad it's not Millhouse.
How about Thrill House?
I was about to say, can I be Thrill House on the channel?
How about Kill House?
No,
That's the 1990s version. He's got pouches on pouches.
Pouches and guns that shoot guns.
Because Robert Liefeld knows what's going on.
And you'll never see my feet. Never see my feet. Don't forget about that.
I actually cracked up earlier today. I was doing some research on the internet because I want to do like some prop making stuff and cosplay stuff because I'm a nerd. And I was looking into the kind of foam you would use with a heat gun to make like fake armor. And one guy made a Robin costume using foam and heat gun and whatever. And the pouches on his belt were just completely molded and like resin casted. They're not pouches. And I'm sitting there going, what's the point then? And then immediately every Liefeld image just flooded into my brain, and I nearly died laughing. For those fearless gamers who weren't around during the 90s or aren't really into comic books, Rob Liefeld is the worst thing to happen to this planet since, I'm going to say since bloodborne pathogens.
Wow.
Now,
really?
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he create Deadpool?
He did.
Yes, he created.
Wasn't that like the only good thing?
No,
he created
his version of Deadpool was garbage.
Yeah, he also created Cable, but his version of Cable is also not very good.
The characters that he created that have stuck around when he created them were Liefeld garbage. But let me explain my statement here to the Fearless Gamers. Rob Liefeld is he was an artist and a writer in the he still is an artist and a writer in the comic book world. But in the 90s, he was like the biggest, like he was the hypest to the extent where he had a Levi's jeans commercial. But if you look up this man...
Really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, legit. This man made millions of dollars in the industry. Very few people make that kind of money in the industry ever. And Rob Liefeld is one of the ones that did. But if you look at his work during the 90s, like, look at his work. Just take a moment to Google Rob Liefeld 90s, or Rob, it's Liefeld, I think. He can't draw feet. He doesn't know what feet look like. He was one of the biggest one of the biggest factors in the super unrealistic female body shapes of the 90s, in that women would have the women he drew would have like big old booties and like torpedo boobs, and then like look at your wrist, and that was the waist.
And didn't they always, like, pose themselves in a way that their spine would need to be, like, rubber for them to actually twist that way?
That wasn't a pose. That would just be the way they would stand.
Yeah. On a side note, really quick, people have to understand he made so much money because basically his art style became the art style of comics for like a decade. You know?
Which is super unfortunate because his art style... Granted, in the 90s, I was a kid. At my oldest in the 90s, I was born in 84, so I was like 15 in 1999. So, like, late 90s, I was like 13, I didn't really understand how the world worked, And I was like, oh man, this is so extreme. There's pouches on top of pouches, and that lady's got big boobies. And like that's why he got popular, because he like shot directly at an audience that was like sort of the mid-range. Like comics are weird. So we had the Golden Age, the Silver Age, and then the 90s, which I like to call the Pouch Age.
Which it was.
It was a age made of pouches on top of pouches with possibly pouches on top.
Like, in the 90s, the industry was in this weird sort of place where they had all the fans from the Golden Age and Silver Age, but they needed something to bring in our generation of fans. And somehow, for some reason, Liefeld was one of the two things that brought people in. The other one was McFarlane. I heavily credit McFarlane.
But McFarlane was awesome.
He was awesomer.
He did give us Venom.
Listen, McFarlane has committed his crimes, let's be honest. But if I had to go back and kill one of them with a shovel, it would be Liefeld.
Yeah, because McFarlane, I mean, his style was just hyper detailed, but like you could still see feet and hands, and they were usually his proportions were a little crazy, but they made sense to be crazy.
McFarlane's contribution was his art. However, a lot of the things that he did conceptually and beyond the art part of it very much made me wonder what he was on.
I did actually, like I told you earlier, I never knew that he was the guy that gave us Venom.
Yeah, I hadn't known either, but if you look at Venom, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Which is funny for those who are just wondering, the way Venom came into being was when he started doing work on Spider-Man, it was after the whole black suit age, and he went, whatever happened to that black suit? I think I'm going to tell people what happened to that black suit. And that's
the
where
black
it came
suit,
from.
the black suit age, incidentally, started with the original Secret War, which I believe was a late 70s, early 90s storyline, in which a lot of the Avengers were up against, I'm pretty sure it was like extra-dimensional villains?
Something like that.
Something like that.
And Spider-Man got the black suit, like, super incidentally. It wasn't really explained. Like, it just sort of happened to him.
Wasn't it like a space bending machine, basically?
It was a vending machine for suits.
There was a machine, and he got it because he needed a suit. And he found that the suit made him feel really awesome, and he kept wearing it until eventually it was like, oh, this is a problem, and he got rid of it. That's super Cliff Notes version, incidentally.
Yes.
But you know, I'm glad that somebody went, hey, whatever happened to that? Cause,
let's do something with that.
Right, because that's when you get some of the best storylines, when somebody looks... I mean, look at the Guardians of the Galaxy. I know I just struck a note with Starklord, but one guy looked back and went, what is... we have all these great creations from, like, the 70s and 80s. What are they up to? And now we're getting a movie with Rocket Raccoon in it.
I'm just saying... Dude, not some guy looked back. Dan Abnett looked back.
That's true.
Yes,
that's actually a name that should be relevant to the Fearless Game.
Yes, he did write a bunch of space, but horse heresy novels.
He's written a ton of books for 40K.
I actually just picked up another one, Titanicus.
I think Abnett was also responsible for the first Annihilation storyline in Marvel.
It was
which
him
basically
and it was him and Lanning. I forgot Lanning's first.
Right, Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning and Abnett.
It was Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning.
Yeah, the two of them have basically written some of the best space opera ever for Marvel. I love
those two. Those two revitalized Cosmic Marvel.
They did, and Cosmic Marvel is my favorite part of Marvel, which is why I love reading that crap, and it's because
nobody really even... Cosmic Marvel wasn't even on anybody's radar before the first Annihilation, which those two basically spearheaded. At the time, DC had the Cosmic storyline, and Green Lantern was going really well, and so you'd read DC for the space stories and Marvel for the Earth stories, and then Annihilation hit, and it's like, holy crap. I had forgotten about Nova. I had forgotten about the Surfer. You forget about the Silver Surfer.
You never forget about the Surfer.
I have forgot. There was a time when I forgot about the Surfer.
I'm sorry.
And
How can you forget about
Abnett
Thor and Rad?
Easily.
Can't-
No, that's actually not that easy. It's just that he's such a character that Marvel didn't really focus on for a while.
Yeah.
You know, before Annihilation, the only thing that really brought the Surfer to my attention was Planet Hulk.
Right, that's when they kind of pushed him back in, but he always had his own thing going on, and anytime they did stuff with the Infinity Gauntlet and everything, and Thanos, Surfer showed up.
What was that really great Surfer miniseries?
Oh, when he died? Sorry, spoiler.
I think wasn't it like The End? Wasn't it his The End series?
I don't know if it was his The End series, but whatever it was,
it was essentially his The End series.
Yeah.
It was one of the best stories ever told.
It was beautiful. And I have it somewhere in my house.
Yeah, I think I do too. I have it somewhere in my closet.
But I love
want to read
Surfer.
it again.
He's great. He's a bloody super omnipotent pacifist who just wants to be himself and can never really get that chance.
And then will occasionally be forced to use his power for the sake of violence because, well, sometimes you just got to solve a problem by smacking a guy.
What was great was when he fought Cable after Cable basically was healed of his technovirus for a while.
Can I just say that if you were in the room with me right now, I would high-five you so hard. Because that is exactly what I was going to talk about. Because Cable became basically a god by removing all the limitations in his brain against his telekinesis.
Thanks to Deadpool, by the way.
Yeah, because Deadpool's just crazy, and he got some of Deadpool's healing factor, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Deadpool's healing factor healed him because of a teleporter accident.
Right.
The comics are great.
So Cable is being kind of a jerk about his immense amount of power, and the Surfer shows up, and he's like, listen, you gotta cool it, and if you don't, you're gonna have to deal with the Silver Surfer. And Cable's like, come at me, bro. And the fight they had, it just picture these two mostly omnipotent beings kicking the crap out of each other over the surface of the earth, and like buildings are both being blown up and then reformed as they're hitting them because they just have the power to do that.
Yeah,
and then,
it's like
I
hate to compare it to this, but it's like DBZ, but better.
No, it was better than DBZ because DBZ they have all the destruction, but it's like imagine if Goku was like fighting Frieza.
Yeah.
And they're blowing stuff up, but then Goku is also using a fraction of his power to completely put everything back together again.
Mm-hmm. And they're both doing it, and it's great. Like they go through a building and they like rebuild it as they're going through it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And then it all culminates with Cable breaking the Surfer's board, which is a big deal because technically the Surfer's board is a part of him.
Yes, it is.
Like it's not really a prop. It's not a weapon. It's not a vehicle. It's literally just an extension of his body, and his body is made of the power cosmic. So that's a big deal. And that's when the Surfer just pulls the telekinesis out of Cable's brain. He could have done that from the very beginning. He was like, "All right, you're gonna break my ride." Bam.
It's like, okay, you are clearly not cool anymore.
Yeah, it was.
I love the Surfer.
I've never actually read this issue though, but I've heard nothing but great things.
I believe it was in Cable and Deadpool. Was the
Yes,
comic
it was.
that took place.
Yeah.
Which can I just say that comic was the best use of Cable and Deadpool. Which I get it, the title Cable and Deadpool. But the problem with Deadpool is that he really needs a straight man on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And the problem with Cable is that he really needs some comic relief. So it was sort of like if you look at Men in Black, because Will Smith needs a straight man, and Tommy Lee Jones needs comic relief.
Yeah, that is true.
I will say that Cable. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Cable. That story was good, but like Cable on his own was good when after Messiah Complex.
Not as good.
I don't know.
Maybe
never
not
read
as
any.
good. Messiah Complex was after the first season was born, and it was
just not as good. Listen, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that it's not as good. Cable and Deadpool, I will maintain as my personal opinion that Cable and Deadpool was the best use of either of those characters that we've seen to date.
Yeah. On a side note, I've been catching up on...
No, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. No, continue. I was gonna go off topic, like, entirely.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say, like, it wasn't just, like, Bad Cat Deadpool making jokes, and it wasn't just, like, Cable being serious. Like, they balanced each other out, and it went to some pretty, I don't want to say adult, but some pretty human places, and that was one of the things I liked the most about it. But go ahead and talk about what you were gonna talk about. Do it. Go. Now. Go.
I was just gonna say I was catching up on all the Marvel books, and, yeah, I kind of missed Cable, and the Surfer just showed up again, and it's been good.
You know what I need?
So,
you know what I need to start.
I missed. What?
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I miss Amadeus Cho. I don't know where he is because I don't know if there's Hercules comic going on.
He's one of my favorite modern characters.
Yes, he's not even a hero, but he is, and he's great.
He's got power, and he's a heroic kind of guy, but he's too young to really be a proper hero. So it's different. But what I was going to say is I need to start reading Daredevil again.
Yes, you do. I'm completely up to date on Daredevil. Completely. I've read like 3 years worth of Daredevil in like the past two months.
I need to do that because the last I read was the end of what was that storyline called where he was the head of the Hand? It was like
oh gosh,
no,
I forgot the name of that.
Like, but yeah,
it was
he was like the head of the
City
Hand
or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. That was the last
everything after that's
like,
been great.
When he, like,
even Foggy getting
checked
cancer,
out.
great.
They don't do anything good to Matt Murdock. Like they treat him worse than DC treats.
No, they
Batman.
don't. No, they treat him worse than they used to treat Spider-Man. Like they are harsh to Daredevil.
And they used to treat Spider-Man pretty bad.
Mm.
Like Spider-Man's whole shtick used to be that he was the guy who constantly got pooped on, but still had the gumption to be a hero.
So, I going to do a random topic change right here, if you guys don't mind.
No, you're not allowed. I'm glaring angrily at the microphone.
Yep, as our call has a slight problem. But as like we mentioned before, the Space Marines are coming out this weekend, and it looks like apparently we're losing the customizable Space Marine captain that we used to have for a one-pose wonder now for $30.
I just got back. Really? That's a shame, but the new sprues for the tacticals
this is the funny thing. Well, the new sprues for the tacticals are great because they gave us the ability to make every combi weapon that we want.
Yeah.
We got a new missile launcher backpack. We got new gravity weapons, which I'm interested to see how they work.
It's okay. They look like just a nice anti-heavy infantry weapon.
I keep hearing contradicting rumors as to what they can do, so, apparently in the Horus Heresy, it's something where you have to roll against your toughness, and, if you fail a toughness check, then you take a wound, and that spot that you're in becomes difficult terrain for the next turn, or something like that. It's really weird. But what I found hilarious is the Space Marine Captain, he's $30. Now, he's $10 more than the plastic Farseer that we got. The reason being is apparently because the Space Marine Captain has two heads.
So you're telling me he's literally just the one piece except for the head?
Yeah, the one piece, you can either give him a helmet or a non-helmet head.
I assume he's fine, yes?
I'm not sure.
No, he's plastic.
I'm not sure where you're getting that information from, because I'm looking at the description on the website, and it says, this multi-part plastic kit contains 8 components with which to make a Space Marine Captain armed with power sword and combi grav gun. There are 2 head options available, one with plumed helmet, the other with bear.
You see the little tiny...
If it's 8 components...
You see the tiny pictures underneath him?
Yeah, there's the sprue.
If you click the arrow, there's the sprue.
Okay, so he's not literally one piece. He's
not literally. He's a one pose. He's pretty much like a one.
My point wasn't the pose. My point is actually the number of pieces, because him being in multiple pieces, for example, the cape, you could actually just use that on another Marine.
Yeah, but
Well, that cape is actually part of his body.
yeah, it's molded.
Well,
the thing is,
looking at the sprue,
yeah.
it's not that hard to convert. I could convert it, and I don't consider myself good at converting, to use with a more posable Space Marine. So it actually doesn't bother me that much.
It's what it is. If you look at it, it's the Sicarius model from the old, not the Dark Angel battle box, but the one before it for the 5th edition battle box. It's the Sicarius model.
Yeah.
They just made him into a sprue.
The Librarian is a lot more posable because they actually made his legs and his hips one piece and his torso a top part.
I will
but
say
unfortunately
that-
with him, they only gave him one single head.
Yeah, but that is like one of the coolest looking librarians I've seen in a long time.
It is an interesting one. It's the only one that it's the first Space Marine that I can recall that has a beard.
All of the Space Wolves.
Yeah. But they're not
I don't
Space
count
Marines.
the Space
They're
Wolves.
not Space Marines.
Alright, I approve. Oh, shit.
I do find it interesting that as we see the White Scars and the Iron Hands are the least popular Space Marine chapter because they still have Codex covers available.
Too bad. I honestly would totally get the Iron Hand ones like right now if I had the money. And everyone loves the White Scars.
But, well, I already play the White Scars, and it's called Ravenwing.
Oh snap! No, different.
I'm gonna offer a rebuttal. Ravenwing is a bunch of emo jerks, and I don't like them.
Heck yeah.
Whereas I happen to like the White Scars. I think they're kind of cool.
I don't know much about the White Scars, so I can't actually have an official opinion on
From what
them.
I've read, it's very much like the Huns.
They're supposed to be very
Yeah.
like the Mongols. Honestly, someone needs to make a Khalasar of White Scars.
Oh, don't say that. Man, I have other armies to make. Don't do this to me.
Yeah, you need
what?
you need Khal Drogo on a bike, man. You
Oh.
know.
Okay, we
You
gotta
know
put
it.
this in on this one. Okay, oh god, there's no way to sum this up.
Game
It's a
of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones reference.
Okay.
There's this race of people called the Dothraki, which, by the
yes,
way,
I know about that.
is one of the most metal names for a race of all time.
Everything about
Didn't
and
you
they're-
play one?
No,
your
no. I
character's
had one of the weapons that the Dothraki use. I had an Arak,
Right.
which
Right.
is basically just a giant Khopesh.
It's a big sharp Khopesh. When a
It's
Khopesh-
described as a sickle sword, which is basically a Khopesh.
That's exactly what a Khopesh is. It's a sickle sword. Only the Khopesh is Egyptian and the Iraq is fake.
Dothraki.
Yeah.
But they're called the Horse Lords because they're kind of like the Riders of Rohan, only they're also like the Riders of Rohan. If the Riders of Rohan were proper Vikings and went around raping and pillaging and being general bad.
Yeah.
So that actually
Mongols-
fits the White Scars really well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
the fact that Starklord said that has me wanting to do that now, you jerk. And I apologize if things sound a little weird. I am futzing with my mic because I totally just spilled liquid all around it and on it.
Ooh. Is it okay?
Well, no, it was on the
sounds
it's
okay.
on the base,
Oh, that's good.
but I don't want the base to get
So-
sticky.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about the new Space Marine line is I do like the Stalker/Hunter. It's just a shame that I can't use
I
it.
love stalkers 'cause you
The new
know-
tank.
Yeah, the new tank.
Oh, that's terrible.
What-
It looks
the
cool.
Stalker Hunter.
All I can say is that of all my little side armies, as long as my Raven Guard still work out okay, I don't really care.
And I like this whole Black Templars Crusade pack that they made.
I feel a little bad for Black Templar players
I don't.
Why?
because their codex just got absorbed.
Whatever.
It did, but chances are they're going to get a supplement codex anyway, like every
of course
other
they are.
chapter.
Yeah, no,
But
they're going to get
it
a
seems
supplement.
like they
but-
got some pretty interesting stuff going for them in the new codex, at least rumor-wise, from what I
Yeah.
hear.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but
As
here's my
a-
concern.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Matt, tell us what you think about Black Templar.
I was just say, as a Black Templars player, I'm not that broken up about it.
The reason I'm concerned is mostly because I'm a Sisters of Battle player, And that was the other oldest codex, and this makes me have fear of we're going to get folded into a supplement.
Oh, you are. You absolutely are.
You're probably going to get becoming a supplement for Demon Hunters.
Which is dumb.
Absolutely.
You're going to go
you
Demon
think that,
Hunters
but you're
Supplement
wrong.
Codex, Sisters of Battle.
Shush.
Yeah. That's
Because
exactly
that doesn't make
what's
any
gonna
sense.
happen.
They don't hunt demons.
And that's
They
what-
hunt the people that summon the demons.
Listen, it's just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Just sit back and accept it.
No.
Well, you're going to have to, unless GW is listening in on this and decides because of your faith and your love for the army, which they aren't, they would make the Codex its own character again.
I don't know. Let me roll my faith die. Oh, wait. Where's my faith die? How much faith do I got this turn? I got
You've
5
no
faith.
faith,
I'm
you're
spending
right.
it
So
all.
here's a...
I have actually, just to jump in on this, I'm looking at the some of these new models that are coming out. The Space Marine Vanguard Veteran Squad. It looks like it's a plastic kit, but we have a fine cast.
it is.
for it.
No, there's a plastic one, and look at it. The sprue has like 4 lightning claws.
Yeah, it's cool.
The,
Don't get me wrong, I like the options, but I also really like fine cast. And this worries me that
I know,
they're
but
starting
I know you like fine
that they're
cast.
starting to like feel less faith about the fine cast.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep the Finecast set for now because one, it is a pretty popular set, and I think it may have 1 or 2 options that the new kit doesn't have.
Yeah.
It does.
But what's
Looking
really
at the new
great,
kit, the new kit has the same options and then more. The Vanguard Veteran Squad for the Finecast has 0 options.
Well,
See,
I wonder
the
if
Space
same
Marine
guy.
Veteran Mark II, Space Marine Veterans... I'm not seeing a Vanguard kit, the Finecast Vanguard kit anymore.
Might not be up anymore.
Hold on. It's in
Let's see.
if you go into the pre-order section, we're having 40K pre-orders. They're literally right beneath the Space Marine Stalker Hunter.
I mean, though I meant to check to see if the other kit was still there.
Oh, you mean the
If
Finecast?
the Finecast kit, the Finecast one.
Probably.
Yeah, that
I
was
don't know.
still there. I don't
But
think they
there's-
got rid of them. Already.
There's 2 points I want to make about this kit. One, you have 4 lightning claws for power armor, which are really hard to come by.
They make a whole set. You can buy them in 10s
Yeah,
now.
but that's annoying. But
That's annoying, but buying an entire kit that you have to rip them apart from is not.
But what's also interesting, if you look at these Vanguard veterans, they don't come with normal power backpack options. They only have the jump backpack. So if you want Vanguard vets with all the cool bling and the backpacks, you have to get a separate kit.
Yep.
Why would you have Vanguard Veterans without jump packs? What's the point?
If you want to
Actually, hold on. Vanguard Veterans without the jetpacks are called Sternguard Veterans.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there's a Sternguard
I'm
kit.
99% certain that Vanguard Veterans are the ones with jump packs.
Standard
No, no,
And the ones without are called Sternguard.
No. Okay. Let me lay down some knowledge. Okay, Sternguard are your shooty based. Maybe this is different in the new codex, but in the current codex, up until the new one comes out next week, the Vanguard are your assault ones, and you have to buy their jump packs separately for them. They actually don't come with them base, even though they have the rules for the intervention.
They're close combat specialists. These veterans are the
may
first
or may not
company
be right.
take to war
I don't
propelled
know.
by
That's how they
jump
were
packs.
in the most recent codex. Now, the new codex
Well-
coming out will be different, probably, but
Well, the
Vanguard didn't
description-
have to have jump packs. They had
The des-
Okay.
The description of this makes
Listen,
it
I
sound
just
like...
remembered that there was a difference.
Yeah, there's...
Sternguard
That
has
goes-
shooty guns. Sternguard have like multiple ammo options and lots of guns.
Yeah.
And the Vanguard have lots of close combat abilities, and they could take that not divine intervention, but the one where you can like assault from deep striking. But they had that rule, but they didn't have jump packs base. You had to buy their jump packs, which is why no one took Vanguard veterans in standard codex because they were stupid expensive.
Well, looks like... Well, reading from it, they didn't mesh the two together, but it looks like they may come standard with jump packs now.
That would be nice, because they should have them, and they didn't. Or they should be able to take them off for a bonus.
So I'm looking at the Space Marine Centurion squad,
Oh.
and all I want is to get them just to paint one like Gutsman.
one person actually took them
so chubby.
and photoshopped orc heads in them and made them into mech boys.
And they look perfect as that.
You wouldn't need to Photoshop that. That's easy. Holy
Well,
crap,
it was before we actually had a physical model, so we had to Photoshop the orc head onto the picture. And so he's like, "See, everything has a silver lining."
I think they're cool looking.
The only thing that I don't like about... I like the long-range versions better than the close combat versions.
Okay.
The one thing I do agree with James on is that it's hard to believe these things can move. In terms of walking.
Yeah,
it looks like
kind of stout.
They have a very...
they don't look like they're quick.
Yeah.
But that's my only thing. I do prefer... If I were to grab these guys, I would only do the long range ones because I like how they look with guns on them than I do with those drill things on the front of them.
My problem here, I have a
monster.
completely different issue with them.
I do not follow the Gurren Lagann fact.
Dude, I
giant
don't watch
robot
Gurren Lagann.
logic.
Drills are
I'm just saying that's the drills.
Drills are just standard anime smart move, but
drills are just standard weapon to kill everything.
Yeah. But my issue is more of like a fluff thing. I'm looking at them and like, I think they look cool, but like, why do they need them? They have Terminators and they have Dreadnoughts. These are clearly something that doesn't sit well between them. Like, this should just be a Terminator model or a Dreadnought model. They don't need this thing.
Here's the Photoshop that someone did with the orcs. Or he might have just converted them if he got like an early review kit of them.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. Like, why do they even have these guys?
Let's see. They war suits turn Space Marines into walking tanks and are commonly split into two types of squads: Centurion Devastators and long-range specialists who pound enemy positions with salvos of heavy weapon fire, while Centurion assault squads excel at storming enemy fortifications. That's why they're there.
Yeah, that's what the Terminator's job is. A tactical dreadnought armor is supposed to make a Space Marine into a walking tank. Like, I'm saying, like, this thing is
This makes them more tankish.
They should have just...
Looking at this picture you just sent through, I honestly, I can't tell if it's probably a Photoshop. But, it's also awesome.
It's a good Photoshop
Isn't
picture.
it?
And
I love that picture.
I may, if I ever actually go through with an orc army that isn't all bikers, then I will be using these guys.
Isn't it? They make great conversions for orc mech boys. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And
I gotta finish my Stompa at some point.
Yes, you do.
I'm excited to see that when it's finally finished.
You would be.
And we also got... There's a new Apocalypse Warzone and new spray paints. We're getting the old spray paints back. We're getting the Ultramarines one, the Blood Angels, the Dark Angels, and the Space Wolves.
About time.
Okay.
So
I have no need for any of these.
But it's nice to see them going back and discovering that they don't need to hike prices, they just need to throw more crap for us to buy.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna do both.
True. Very true. I was shocked that the Tactical Marines kept a 10-man box set. I thought they were going to go the way of the Eldar and give us a 5-man box set.
I think people would
glad that they
really
didn't.
stop playing if they did that, because you're supposed to have your Marines in 10s. It's just like a rule.
It is true. Like, I'm glad that they didn't, but I was expecting it. So I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And so, now here's a question for you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to do one of those James hypothetical questions.
Uh-oh.
This may not work out correctly. You're not James.
Yeah, this isn't going to go well. I'm going to start drinking now.
I'm just curious.
That's a lie.
Say,
He's already been drinking.
Say if someone came up to you, okay, well, let's just say you won the ability to pick 5 models off the Forge World site, and you were able to get them free of charge, just 5 of them, which 5 would you pick?
Off the bat, I know
Go
of them.
Go ahead.
One of the right off the bat's the Marauder Bomber. I love that thing.
Okay.
And I would name it Boxcar because, yes, if everyone gets all the references in there, that's great. I'll do that someday. God, after that, there's so many cool things on the Forge World website. Why you gotta be like that?
It's a good thing you specified the Forge World website, because I was just going to say Kate Upton 5 times.
That's inappropriate.
Have you seen this lady?
I actually have no idea who she is. I'm sorry.
Oh, Google it. Please Google it.
No, I'm busy looking at 40K stuff.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call priorities. Alright, I'm gonna pull up the Forge World website because I don't have a encyclopedic knowledge of
Why
the
not?
Forge World.
What kind of gamer are you?
I'm the kind of gamer that loves Kate Upton.
I
Well, not
understand.
doesn't love. I don't really know her, but, well. I'm gonna go to the Forge World website. I'll be back in a second.
Onward.
So Starklord, you gave us one.
The Marauder Bomber is just like my thing.
I'm gonna look up the Marauder Bomber. That's a Imperial Navy thing.
Of course it is. The Imperial Navy is like my favorite part of 40K, which is kind of sad because it's not really in 40K.
Well, it technically is. GW says it is.
I know, but like...
Ah, yes, the Marauder Bomber. That thing is pretty looking.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know. There's too much crap on here. Can I just say, you know, does Mortarion have a model yet? No, he
Not
doesn't.
yet.
If Mortarion, Ferrus Manus, and Korax had models, that would be 3 more.
Well, you wouldn't have to wait any much longer because apparently he's the next model being made in the Primarch series.
Who, Manus or Mortarion?
Ferrus Manus.
I'm a really big fan of Ferrus Manus. I know my favorite group is the Raven Guard, but the Iron Hands have always been a close second. And Ferrus Manus is just a social Darwinist to the extreme, and it's kind of cool. And his flaws become like the flaws of his chapter so completely.
I don't know much about him, so I can't make an opinion.
He was always about like people fighting to be the strongest and letting them figure it out for themselves, and you know, overcoming weaknesses. And then his great weakness was he had a friend, and he had emotions towards his friend, and that got him killed. And that's why the Iron Hands become such cold mechanical things, because the flesh truly was weak. The emotions were the weak part, and they tried everything they can to remove that.
Which was interesting that I was rereading up on Fulgrim, and I didn't know for a small portion he was possessed by a demon.
Yeah, the sword.
No, apparently the demon inside the sword went into his body and controlled him for a while. But then Fulgrim, being basically tucked away inside of his own head, used that opportunity to explore some of the darker secrets of Slaanesh, and when his legion started torturing him to death to try and exorcise the demon out of him, he managed to take the demon and trap it in a painting of himself.
That sounds familiar.
And then he went and basically went, well, I joined Horus, I killed my friend, I just found a lot of cool power, why stop now?
Yeah.
And went on from there. And then he became a four-armed snake dude.
And then Bob was a zombie.
Bob was a zombie?
Yes. It's from a bad Doom fan fiction or whatever.
Like Bob from
the first Batman was John, by the way.
Whatever.
And
it was
then
John
was
a zombie.
Yes.
Okay.
Apologies.
It basically... It wasn't really bad. It was... it's like an ancient internet thing. Listen, I will kill the demon, and then John was a zombie.
Ancient stuff, like, I just recently, someone on Facebook posted back the shoes video, which I haven't seen in ages.
What's the shoes
video?
video?
That was Joe. Joe posted it.
Shoes. Oh my god,
shoes.
I don't know this
video. You don't know the shoes video?
I have no idea.
You have seen it.
Blocked it out.
You blocked it out,
I'm
but
sure
you've seen it.
Okay, look, I'm on this website, and I still don't know what to do, because everything is cool.
Everything is cool, but at the same time, like, I'm having I don't know if I'm necessarily having trouble narrowing it down, or if it's just like, a lot of it is vehicles.
Okay, Matt, here's one thing.
Vehicles.
Matt, I'm going to show you one thing that I know you would like. If I can get Skype to open back up. I can't open my Skype.
I did find 5.
Okay.
Here,
go ahead, I want to see what the... I'm looking, hold on, give me a second.
That you suggested?
Give me a second. Oh, wow, no, wait, hold on. There's Warhammer stuff here, too? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, Warhammer Forge, hold on. You gotta give me a second. I gotta see. Skaven, alright, here we go.
Yeah, I just sent Matt the picture of the Empire class, whatever class land ship. Just so the listeners know. Because land boat. But on that note, the Theodore Bruckner and Reaper model is one of my favorite things. I think that was one of the first models they put up for the Warhammer Forge. Where it's guy I forget what they're called. It's the
first official one was the Red Dragon.
Yeah, and the Red Dragon was pretty sick.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones they ever did, was the Red Dragon.
Yeah.
That was there for forever. That's where the Greater Demons are as well. That's where the Slaanesh one went to.
Yeah.
Okay. It was the Warhammer Fire Dragon was one of the first Warhammer dudes they did. And then they decided to make pretty much all their demons that are on 40k base stands in the Warhammer Forge world.
Oh, that's who I forgot that exists right now. The Angron model. I really like that model.
Angron is pretty neat, but I'm just not a fan of Angron.
I've become
too angry.
I've become a real big fan of Angron after really looking at what the character is and what he could have been. I think he's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, he's just anger, and his name is Angry, pretty much. But I mean, after reading the Dornian Heresy, which I know is a fanfic, I was like, yeah, this guy could have been pretty awesome, but the Emperor really messed him up.
Well, if you really watch, the Emperor's a jerk in almost every book he appears in.
He really is, and if he wasn't a jerk to Angron probably would have been awesome.
And, well, even with cheesy names, isn't Lionel Johnson named after a poem?
He's named after Lionel Johnson, who wrote the poem The Dark Angel, which apparently...
He's named after a poet.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Did I just say it was named after a poem?
Yeah.
Biz said he was named after the poem.
He said
he was named after the guy who wrote the poem.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so I got my 5.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear
it.
What's your 5?
Alright, we're going to start with Theodore Bruckner and Reaper, which is one of the ones in Warhammer Forge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we're going to move on to the Orc Gargantuan Squigoth.
Which is awesome. I love that thing.
Yeah, I want it. Then we're going to move on to the Orc Knob Warbikes. Then we're going to move on to the Keeper of Secrets Greater Daemon of Slaanesh.
Which is awesome.
Yep. And then we're going to end with the Relic Contemptor Dreadnought body.
The Relic Contemptor Dreadnought.
Very nice choice.
The Contemptor Dreadnought is just so Pacific Rim. It's very much a Jaeger, and I can't stop looking at it. And to this day, I really wish I had a reason to own one, other than wanting to just paint it and have it.
That's reason enough.
Not for the money it costs.
That's true.
If it were $32 American, then yes. But it's 32 British fun bucks.
Which means it's about $50.
Yeah.
Probably
Can I just say,
without
when it comes to foreign currency, I think my favorite moment was a friend of mine in Canada was talking to me about like Canadian currency, and I was like, wait, hold on, I think we're having a problem with the conversion here, and he was like, no, I'm talking Canadian rainbow fun bucks. It was the rainbow that I think really sold it.
Well, Canadian money is multicolored.
That is right.
Not each piece. I mean, like, the 5s and the 1-note bills are different colors, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I just made an enormous leap inside my head, and I need you guys to take this ride with me.
Okay.
Talking about Canadian money being multicolored reminded me of a game I played recently called Legendary. Now, I don't know if either of you are familiar. I told you about it, Starklord.
That doesn't mean I remember.
True. Are you familiar with the concept of a deck building game?
Yes. Basically anything like Runestone or...
Thunderstone!
Sorry, on a side note, listeners, I've been awake actually for 48 hours right now, so I can't speak properly. I know.
I think the only thing that I've ever played that comes anything close to a deck building game was the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
I've never played it, but maybe.
Sure.
You basically you build a deck of cards, and those cards are your abilities that you can actually have your character do in the game.
Sort of.
Not a
Basically,
deck,
the concept. The concept of a deck building game is you have 2 to 5 players typically, and each player starts with a generic bare bones deck, and there is a hero deck and a villain deck. There's a good guy deck and a bad guy deck. The good guy deck provides cards for the player decks to improve what they're gonna have improve their arsenal. The bad guy deck is something that all the players are working against to try and win the game. It's sort of cooperative, but sort of not. Because at the end of the game, you count up victory points, and whoever has the most victory points is the, major victor or something. I don't know. Anyway, Legendary is a deck building game set in the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
And,
right, that game.
It's really effing good. And the reason that I'm reminded of this by Starklord talking about multicolored money is that the Captain America cards work off of the different color of heroes you have, because each different hero will have like different colored card backgrounds.
Okay.
So Captain America is better when you have a wide variety of card colors. It's a really good game, and I actually want to play it for the channel because I think people need to see it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's my discussion of Legendary.
Interesting. So, for me, I would say if I had to pick only 5 items, item number 1 would probably be a Thunderhawk gunship.
Lame.
Yeah, I don't really like the Thunderhawk. I'm just gonna be honest. It's kind of.
I like how it is.
It's boxy.
Let's see. Then there would be the Cobra for the Eldar, and then it would be. Let's see, what's here? I'd probably grab the Fulgrim model because I like how he looks, as well as the. Let's see, that's 3 so far. I'm up to, as well as the Fellblade and the Phantom Titan.
Nice.
Granted, I would need to buy the arms separately because he doesn't come with them, but still, I'd have the body, which is the most expensive part.
Yeah. For my 5...
I actually hadn't seen the Fulgrim model before. I might actually...
isn't it pretty?
Purchase this thing. I might actually
I'm
buy
planning...
It's expensive, man.
I know.
He's like $80. He's my Christmas present this year to myself.
Nice. Gosh, I'm still looking at the site and I haven't picked 5.
And I'd probably get Ferrus Manus just to get the scene, which the guy who made the Fulgrim model is making Ferrus Manus, and he says that's what he's planning on doing, is planning to make it so their bases interlock.
I know I'm getting Ferrus Manus when he comes out, and I will look at how they look, and then I'll think about getting Fulgrim. Because I'm not a huge fan of Fulgrim, but I do love that whole diorama aspect of that.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say...
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
I had no random sentence. You can go.
Well, mine changes the subject. If yours was related...
No.
Okay.
That's fine.
I was going to say, can I just say, I was misguided as a boy, because I'm looking at this Fulgrim model, and I don't know how I ever thought purple was not the most dope color of all time.
Isn't it?
Because when I was a kid, I was like, purple, that's for girls. Then when I was a teenager, I was like, purple, that's for guys who like guys. And now I'm like, purple is for the baddest of the bad. Like, purple is just fly, and I'm actually looking at other, like, things I really like Kamen Rider Joker, for example. And he's got purple, and Fulgrim's got purple, and I'm like, purple might be legit.
Purple is actually not a bad color, depending on how it's used.
I got a purple work shirt, and I always feel pretty fly in that.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, I got a shirt that I wear to work that's purple, because, why not? And I'm like, hey, I got some purple. Yeah,
if you can rock purple, rock it.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I look like an eggplant, but I feel confident in it.
At least you don't look like Grimace.
No, I actually thought that about my boss the other day. He came into work. He's a big dude like myself, and he came into work with a purple shirt. And I guess it was an ever so slightly different shade of purple than mine. Because I looked at it and I went, I want some chicken nuggets. And today he was wearing an orange shirt, and I was like, I want some pumpkin pie. Oh, I'm so glad he doesn't know about this channel. I'd be fired in a second.
Yeah, you
No,
would.
he's a good guy. He'd probably get a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But,
it's nice when the people you work for are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I had a discussion about Five Guys the other day. And he apparently,
that's a good place.
This dude apparently went to Five Guys one day and ordered a triple.
Oh my
A
god.
triple burger.
Why would
I
you
didn't know
do
you
that?
they do that.
I didn't know you could do that. And apparently the girl behind the counter didn't know you could do that either. She was like, "Do you want a triple?" And he was like, "I would like triple." And then he got a large fry for him. Like, I'm like, dude, how are you still alive?
Yeah.
Like, he and I had a discussion about food. That's how you know we're both fat.
No, as
We had a
like
20-minute discussion about food, and I missed a phone call.
Look, Matt, I don't know if you realize this. You live in like New York. Everyone here is a foodie. Everyone loves talking about food. I don't know if that's true in other places, but like people love food around here.
It's different. It's a different type of talking about food.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking about food, like frat guys. Apparently, I'm
boys.
from. You know how frat guys talk about the girl they met at the bar last weekend?
Yeah.
That's how fat guys discuss food. It's a conquest thing. Like it's like we have no respect for the food, but we're so proud of having eaten that triple at Five Guys.
Wow.
And that is possibly one of the least sensitive comparisons I've made in my entire life.
No, it's not. I've known you. That's the most. It's not. You've said some pretty horrible things.
I believe you. I believe you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking right now, yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
I've said some stuff. I try not to say it with a microphone in the room.
That's a good thing. You don't want half of that recorded.
Yeah,
I don't want to really anger. I mean, like, listen, I don't care if I piss off a couple of the Fearless Gamers, but if I piss them all off,
we won't have a channel anymore.
No, we won't.
Well, okay, we will. It just won't have any viewers.
Yes, okay, I'll take that.
How many viewers do we have right now?
We have a total of 425.
Wow, thank you all, 425.
And 99
guys,
members on Facebook.
When we hit 500, I'm going to do something. I don't know what. It'll be cool.
We'll all do something.
Oh, man, you're making promises for James now. I'm not comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with promising stuff James may or may not be able to deliver.
Okay. I might eat something interesting or paint something interesting.
Or you can eat something interesting, then paint it. Or the other way around, actually.
Yeah, it would have to be fairly different. Do I have to paint it with actual paint, or can I paint it with, like, food coloring?
Seasoning.
You just have to pigment it, so sauces might be okay.
Okay, because I was going to say, if I have to paint it with, like, acrylics, it's not staying down very long.
No, it's not.
And then you're going to have to clean it up because it was your idea.
And I'm the one that cleans everything up.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are, that's what we hire you for.
I
Little do the
know.
Fearless Gamers know that I am terribly incontinent and rather Starklord. Sorry, I made some work for the vet. The Starklord follows me around and takes care of me every day.
You know what? I don't think I've actually cleaned up your vomit yet, but I've cleaned up our other friend's vomit.
I was talking about...
You haven't...
I know. I'm on a tangent in my brain.
No, I'm pretty good with my vomit. I never actually get it, like... Okay, alright, I have a story.
Oh god, no.
May or may not be appropriate. So I'm going to leave this up to you, Matt the vet, to whether or not you want to cut out the next couple of minutes.
Okay.
But a story about me being good with my vomit I was at George's birthday a couple of years ago. You guys remember George?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of miss that guy a little bit.
Good guy, not my friend anymore. Long story, not worth talking about. Anyway, we were at a place called, I don't remember the place, but it was a Japanese place, and the food was great. And unfortunately, they're not around anymore.
Oh, that was.
That's a shame.
Oh God, I remember the name of that place.
We went there for 1 year after Comic-Con for our birthday.
It began with an A, didn't it?
Oh, it might have.
Oh gosh.
It was amazing. It was some of the best food I've ever eaten.
Ariyoshi.
And they had a lot of really good... Yes, Ariyoshi.
Yeah.
Well done, Starklord. You get a cookie.
Yay, I need cookies. I'm tired.
So we're at Ariyoshi, and whenever George had a birthday at Ariyoshi, it was very much start with all the sake and all the beer and just get really hammered. And for some reason, whenever I'd go to one of his birthdays, I wouldn't eat beforehand, which only made it worse. And this one year, I'm sitting there, and I've eaten, and I've drank, and I'm so gone. And I'm looking at George, and he's looking at me. And I, unfortunately, get sick at the table, but I do it in such a way that I cover my mouth. And to hear George tell the story, it was like watching a Gundam anime where, like, it launches 3 missiles. Because apparently, like, 3 little bits got away from me. But all landed on me anyway. But it was very much like a pit. Like that kind of a Gundam missile launch thing. At which point, I promptly excuse myself and go to the bathroom and do my thing. That was the only time I've ever thrown up in a place where I wasn't supposed to throw up.
Nice.
Interesting.
Every other time in my life, it's been like in my bed and I've got a bucket for it because I'm very ill. Or like I'm in a hospital and I've got a bucket because I'm very ill. Or I'm in the bathroom and I've got a toilet because I'm very ill.
I see a pattern there.
Or I'm very drunk. Regardless. Either way, every other time I've vomited in my entire life has been in a place where vomiting is appropriate. That was the one time, and even then, I only made a mess of myself, and it was it was nearly unnoticeable. Like, I came home that night, my mom was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Totally bought it. I had my own vomit in my shirt. And she totally bought it. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, so that story gave me enough time to make a list of 5 models.
Okay.
Right.
And then I have a vomit story for you, too.
I'm sorry. That's a good point for Matt the Vet. If you choose to cut that story out, you can sort of stop it there. So anyway, go ahead, Starklord.
So this took a lot of thought, but Angron is a must-take.
Okay.
The Marauder Bomber, which I already mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Theater of Bruckner and the Reaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Tau Tiger Shark. And last but not least, the Bloody Manta. Because if you're just getting any 5 models, the Manta's the most expensive 40K model out there.
I was waiting for you to say that, and if you didn't, I was going to be like, what about the Manta?
I know. I keep going back and forth. I've really seriously considered in the past getting, like, the Aeronautica Vet Manta, which is still, like, a really big model, but it's much smaller. And put it on, like, a giant stand to be a count-as Manta. As a joke. But it'll never happen.
Wasn't there like a Tau thing that recently came out that you played against, Biz?
Yes. I actually, for the first time, got to fight a Riptide.
Oh, how'd that go? I heard it's been ripping up the tournament scene pretty something.
It wasn't the biggest threat on the table, surprisingly.
It should
his command squad, did more damage, I felt, than the Riptide.
Well, what were you playing?
I was doing Dark Angels.
Heavy mech?
Nope. Bikers, some troopers, a Dark Talon, and a Dreadnought.
Interesting.
The only thing that I managed to luckily get it to was I think it only destroyed my bikes, and I can't remember. Oh, it did take down my Dark Talon, but it had marker lights to help it.
And, well, for Tau, always marker lights. Don't ever count that as a negative. That's how they're supposed to work.
So I'm just saying, like, the Riptide couldn't defeat it by itself. It needed the marker lights to hit it.
No, again, it's not supposed to. Like, everything Tau is supposed to be about support, so you can't look at any one unit in a vacuum, technically. But in a standard Tau army, his HQ, it sounds like, should have been a Death Star-style unit with just a lot of firepower.
Oh, yeah.
The Riptide really should, in basic setup, be an anti-infantry unit, and it really excels at that, just being fast-moving and killing all the infantry with the ion gun, or taking out light aircraft, but you don't run any aircraft.
Not yet.
So, as an infantry sort of army, do I have to worry about that from you?
I don't
Riptide
run
nonsense.
Riptides. I run other nonsense. I'm keeping with my stealth suits and crisis suits.
So I don't have to worry about a Riptide from you ever.
Probably not. I'm never really going to get around to buying one. I mean, it's a cool model, but I don't really want to paint it because it's huge.
Honestly, I just wanted to say Riptide a few times.
Yeah, I figured.
Every time I hear that, I think of my girlfriend's band, my girlfriend's dad's band, because it's called Riptide Blues Band.
I was going to say, wait, Elaine is it a band? But then clarified, and I went, oh.
Sometimes she sings for that. Sometimes she'll sing with them, never on concert.
Okay, listen, I'm going to say something that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about and has everything to do with your girlfriend. She actually is one of the best singers I've ever seen, and it's really unfortunate that she's not as, confident in herself as she should be. Because, damn.
I agree. She sings beautifully, and I have yet to find anyone who was not blown away by the sound of her voice.
It's a true story, man. It's a true story.
Some people did get a small bit of it in the Eldar unboxing, because she's the bone singer.
I don't know if that really counts, but yes. I actually
she sang.
It's her.
She sang.
She's very good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So we are just about out of time now.
Oh, we've been out of time for a while.
So thank you all for listening, and also, Fearless Gamers, let us know if you could have, without any question or any issue, 5 models from Forge World, which 5 would they be? You know, someone says, name me 5, I'll get them for you, which 5 would you want?
If someone says that to you, you better just say yes and take them up on that offer, frankly.
Yeah.
Starklord is saying it to you. He just got a new job. He's going to pay for all of it. Just
no, I'm not. My paycheck doesn't cover the cost of a Manta.
Don't listen to him.
Actually, it might. I don't know. I can't do conversion.
Just look at the most expensive things you can and then resell them on eBay. That's what I plan on doing.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
So, with that, thank you all for listening, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
This is Matt the Clown.
And this is the Starklord, very sleepy.
Who's rich as heck. He can afford mantas.
They are lying.
Saying,
Rich
not
as a
Rich the Lannister. Definitely not.
Always pays his debts.
I do always pay my debts, except to Citibank. Don't tell them that, though.
And so,
take
care.
Take care.
Stop whispering, it's creeping me out.
I can't help it.
Oh my god, did you stop it yet?